Hey guys, it is your boy Blast, and today I'm going to tell you guys the story of the train station in Evarts, Kentucky and Harlan, Kentucky. So first I'm going to do Harlan, Kentucky first. So it was only after the Civil War that railroads began to open the natural resources of eastern Kentucky and ended the isolation of this mountain area. During the decade of the 1880s, the Louisville and Nashville Railroad Company began to move in this direction, but it was not until after the turn of the 20th century that their lines extended as far east as Harlan County, Kentucky. In 1981, the Cumberland Valley Division of L&N was opened with the completion of the line in Corbin, Kentucky to Northern Virginia. As early 1887, two minor electricians, Andrew S. McCreath and E.V. Derliners, both from Philadelphia, had recommended the construction of the line into Harlan County. Some 20 years later, this was finally done. The president of L&N at the time, Milton H. Smith, for years in political economic power in Kentucky and other states, referred to the monumental and continued blunder of CV, which was located in the line of Norton by way of Middlesboro, Pennington, and Big Stone Gap, etc., instead of by the way of Harlan and Morris Gap. It took approximately 4 years to complete the line into Harlan. July the 15th, 1911, it issues the Middlesboro News Record had this to say about Evans. The passenger train will run into Harlan Monday, July the 17th. Though the station has been not completed and will not entirely finish for 30 days, train will come to depot and terminally offices for the stations for the force established in the building. The Harlan station, when complete, will be one of the best among the smaller depots on the L&N systems. W.J. Wilson, who's the one who was formerly cashier at Middlesboro Freight Offices, will be again at this place. He now has charge of the company's interests and Baxter, the present ship point of Harlan. The first carload of coal to leave Harlan County was shipped from the Arundel mine of the old Welling Creek Coal Company on August 25, 1911. This soon became the thriving enterprise, increasing from 25,841 tons of ruggedly 600 cars in 1911 to a total of 339 cars in 1928. The two men who were undoubtedly responsible for the designing of on-chain terminal style of the depot building at Harlan were two important engineers who were employed by the L&N. Both held the title of chief engineer at different times during their careers with the railroad. They were responsible for the establishment of the more or less standard design for the depot's buildings, which was followed by the L&N from the early 19s. The first of these men was Richard Montford from 1854 and 1934, who was born in Ireland and was first employed by the Louisville Bridge and Iron Company. In 1880, he entered the service of the L&N as bridge engineer. In 1883, he became resident engineer of the system, and in 1887 was appointed the first chief engineer in the history of the company. The second of these men was William Howard. Yes, Mom. The second of these men was William Howard, incorporating from 1858 and from 1934, who became assigned engineer with the L&N in 1891, and in 1906 was appointed chief engineer to succeed Montford. He chief contributions to the company in the field of railroad bridges, many of which are still used today. The Holland Railroad Depot served for many years as an import center for the company's activities in this area. When the company moved its chief shipping headquarters of the track and discontinued its passenger services, the danger that the old depot building would be destroyed was thought to be averted when the city of Harlan became its new owner. The city demolished the depot in 1985. Constructed in 1911, the Harlan and Railroad Depot is located on River Street in downtown Harlan, Kentucky. To the west in Main Street, Harlan's major north-south axis, and north across Clover Fork are the City Hall and the County Courthouse. Harlan, with a population of 3,318 means in 1970 census, is the seat of Harlan County, which was situated in extreme eastern Kentucky along with the Virginia border. Typical of the functional design of railroad stations is the period. The Holland Depot is a long, narrow structure, approximately 400 x 50. Permanently, the east-west L&N track, the building was planned as a combination passenger and freight depot. And internally planned is the reverse of the L&N Railroad's plan, C25513. The freight rooms occupies the east section. The passenger weight rooms are located in the west end, and the ticket office and baggage rooms are the central portion. The structure rests on the brick foundation, which is sheeted to the height of approximately 3 feet with vertical boards and numerous windows. Many of them pierce the frame, walls, and the passenger section. 4 additions increasing the company by 208 feet were made in the freight room between 1913 and 1918. And other major addition and alteration took place in 1925. Composed of red tile, the roof is hipped in 3 sections covered in the passenger waiting rooms and ticket office area, while the long gable roof suffits the freight rooms. Modernly sculpted brackets, supports, and roof overhang. Brick chimney rise from the passenger and ticket office section of the building. A wooden platform runs along the south side of the freight room, and concrete platforms bound the north side of the passenger section. The ceilings are 13 feet in the office and waiting rooms. In the passenger area, the narrow beading boards wax often remains, as do some of the original wooden benches, and the suspended light fixture are intact as well. The L&N Railroad concedes using the depot in 1960s, and since that time, the passenger and office sections have remained vacant. Several local businesses have used the freight area for storage. Although unused for several years, the depot and sectional sound and could be easily adapted to other use. The city of Harlan now owns the depot of the hopes of obtaining grant money for rehabilitation purposes. Tentative plans include using one section of the recreation. Tentative plans include using one section of recreational faculty for the elderly and converting the remaining spaces into offices. Apparently, those plans failed though, and the cities demolished the depot in 1985.